Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and welcome to Hashtag Sports for another episode of Razor Sharp Picks. It's week 16 of the NFL season, and of course, Christmas is here. Christmas did not come early for me last week in week 15. We're trying to improve on that, but we'll get into that in a second. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hashtag Sports and welcome to Razor Sharp Picks. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills and some NFL content. Looking to do some new things here coming up real soon. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment. Let me know who you are picking in these week 16 matchups. Again, week 16, no bye weeks, okay? So we're still talking 16 full matchups. But since Christmas is on Sunday, most of these matchups are happening on Saturday, so make sure you set your DVR correctly if you are recording the game that you want to watch. But make sure you join me right here Saturday, 12:30. That's right, Saturday, not Sunday, as the Buffalo Bills go up against the Bears for a chance to win the AFC East for a third consecutive season. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. It's going to be a fun one, so join me for that game. Might be a little windy in the Windy City, but not nearly as windy as it will be in Buffalo over the weekend. That's for sure. But I do want to talk about last week a little bit and the season overall. So let's get those standings up for you real quick. As you can see, last week straight up did just fine. 11-5, that's where I want to be when we're talking about the straight up picks. Maybe get 12, 13 wins every once in a while. But 11-5, that's fine. Double-digit wins, that's where I want to be. But if you look at against the spread, kind of went the reversal, right? In fact, exactly went with the reversal, going 5-11 against the spread. So not good at all. So if you look at my season standings right now, 137-87 straight up. 122, 99, and 3 against the spread. Listen, against the spread, we're still up 23 units. I'm going to take that, right? I'm going to take that every single day, or at least every single year. If I can finish the year up 25 to 30 units, I think that's a great place to be. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Let me know what you're doing so far this season. Before I get started with my picks, I do want to mention that Hashtag Sports is proudly sponsored by blah, 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 blah. Why can't I get this out? I don't know why. Hashtag Sports sponsored by Mr. Rogers Homes in association with DeanBlundell.com. So make sure you go to DeanBlundell.com. All that information down in the description below. Also, hashtag 2022 charity, the Williams Syndrome Foundation. The Williams Syndrome Foundation, great way to help those less fortunate than we are. All the super chats this season that come into this channel, whether it be during a live, after the game, post game, or during game, wherever the case might be, all those donations that Hashtag Sports gets goes directly to the Williams Syndrome Foundation. So again, we appreciate your donations, but if you can't afford to donate this holiday season, we completely understand, and we wish you all the best. Simply hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button. Help Hashtag Sports get their name out there, right? Help us get our name out there so more people like, more people subscribe, and more that people like and subscribe, more money coming in, more money going to the Williams Syndrome Foundation. So let's kick off Week 16 of the NFL football season. And just like every week, it starts on Thursday night. So tonight, Thursday night football, when the New York, New Jersey Jets got a little cool down last week with the loss of the Lions, right? Last couple weeks, they haven't looked as good as we thought they were before. They have been removed from the current playoff situation, right? They're no longer in the playoffs. If the playoffs were to start today, they're on the outside looking in. But they're still right there. They're still right there. And in this game at home against the Jaguars, one of the Jaguars, a dramatic win last week against the Dallas Cowboys, right? That pick six in overtime to win the game, keep them alive in the AFC South. The Titans been slumping. The Jags a little bit hot right now, keeping them alive in the AFC South as far as division leaders. And they still got a small shot at that wild card. But if you look at this matchup, the Jets defense has been confusing a lot of teams, right? Confusing a lot of teams. And I think that persists here against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, yes, he's looking really good, right? He's looking like the Jags have their quarterback of their future. Good for them. Happy for them. But the Jets have just confused a lot of quarterbacks this year, including Josh Allen, right? Include both games, Josh Allen has not been able to figure out the Jets defense. Luckily, the Bills defense in the second game was able to hold on to that lead against the Jets, unlike the first game where they kind of let slip away. But in this game, I think the Jets defense is too much for Trevor Lawrence. Maybe create some short fields for the Jets offense. Listen, we know Jets offense cannot score, and that's going to be an issue. And that's why I think this game stays close. I do, just like most Jets games. But I think the Jets at home in New Jersey on Thursday night, short week, pull this one off, right? A lot of Jaguars players excited about the win last week against the Dallas Cowboys. Might not have been able to let go on Tuesday when practice started. And you can't blame them. But that means that you're missing out on possibly putting 100% focus on the New York Jets game. And that's where it needs to be. When you're talking about the NFL, you need to put 100% effort in every single game you play. And if you don't, what happened to Kansas City last week could happen, right? Forced overtime against a 11-1 team, could have potentially lost that game. Luckily for them, the Houston Texans kind of gave it away with that fumble in overtime. But you just never know what's going to happen in this league. Give me the Jets to win this game. Give me the Jets to cover that 1-point spread. And then, like I said, most of the games for this week on Saturday, Christmas Eve, and whatever your holiday plans are, I hope you all have the best holiday. Again, though, join me Saturday at 12:30 right here on Hashtag Sports for the game between the Bears at Soldier Field against our Buffalo Bills for a chance for the Bills to win that AFC East title. But let's start these Saturday games with the Saints going to Cleveland, playing against the Browns. Browns 3-point favorites in this matchup. And Deshaun Watson's been looking all right, and he's been improving week by week, I think, solidly. But this offense still is not scoring a lot of points. Nick Chubb, you know what you have there. You have one of the best running backs in the league. So with that, I think the Browns win this game, but it's going to be close, right? And it's a 3-point spread. So, yeah, that's a close spread. I could see this one finishing on the 3, right? So you could pick a tie in this one as far as against the spread with that 3 points. But I just don't feel comfortable doing that in this game. Give me the Browns to win this game, but give me the Saints to cover the spread. Again, though, that 3-point number, I won't be surprised if it lands right on there. Falcons at Ravens. The Ravens are 7.5-point favorites going to Baltimore for the game between the Ravens and the Falcons. I'm not going to Baltimore. I'm just figuratively speaking that this game is in Baltimore. The Ravens, again, more than a touchdown favorite against the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, yeah, you don't know what to get out of them. They're not putting up a lot of numbers. They're not looking that great. Marcus Mariota now out. So the offense is going to struggle, but this Ravens team just doesn't put up a lot of points too often either, right? This Ravens team doesn't put up too many points themselves a lot of the time. Even with Lamar Jackson in there, it just doesn't seem to happen. You look at this Ravens team, they like to ground and pound attack, which is fine, but those are going to give you low-scoring games most of the time. Now, the Ravens did play last Saturday, so they got a full week off compared to the Falcons, who have to travel on what now is a short week. Even if it's by a day, it's still a short week. So that might interfere with some things as far as the Falcons' mindset, as far as Falcons' practice schedule, things like that. And as we know about these pro athletes at any level, at any sport, these athletes, they like to have the schedule, right? They do things in order. And if you mess up their schedule, then it can mess up everything else for the rest of the week. So give me the Ravens to win this game because, again, the Falcons are coming in on kind of a short week. And the Ravens, to me, on paper, the better team. But I just don't see the Ravens putting up a lot of points. The Falcons do cover that 7.5-point spread. Going to New England, where losing games found a new way with these New England Patriots last week against the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know what Jacoby Myers was thinking. I don't know what Bill Belichick must have been thinking after the game. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how they lose that game. And, if you're Jacoby Myers, if you're Stevenson, you just have to really blame yourselves and take a look at yourselves because to me, that's down there with the butt fumble, right? To me, that's down there with some of the worst ways to lose a game. In fact, you lose a game that way, I wonder how much you actually want to win, right? It just really boggles my mind. Like, what did you expect? Even if you throw that perfectly to Mac Jones, what's the best case scenario? What's the best case scenario? You're not trailing in the game. You're tied. So what just happened to you was absolutely worst case scenario. I don't know if when you threw the ball backwards, if you thought worst case scenario was going to overtime, because it wasn't. and we found out exactly what worst case scenario was. Your quarterback gets planted into the ground, and the Raiders run it back for a touchdown to win that game. So the Patriots are going to come into this one a little ticked off, looking to prove that they do want to win still in this league. And Bill Belichick, I think, is going to have this team prepared, right? None of that matters. None of that matters. When you talk about Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals on a 6-game winning streak. Listen, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, right? I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so obviously the Patriots winning this game would be huge for the Bills, right? Going into that clash against the Bengals the following Monday on Monday Night Football. I'm really hoping that going into that Monday Night Football game, which I will give live play-by-play right here on Hashtag Sports for that one too, going into that Monday Night Football game, that the Cincinnati Bengals are on a 6-game, or would be 7-game winning streak going into that game, and the Bills are on a 6-game winning streak going into that game. You have two Titans really going at it, no pun intended, to the Tennessee Titans, who are far from Titans this year. But you have two of the best teams in the AFC and two of the best teams in the league going at it on Monday Night Football prime time, pretty much for the number 1 overall seed in the AFC, potentially. Would be a fun one to watch, for sure. But in this matchup here, I think the Bengals win it. I think the Bengals cover that 3-point spread. I think the Patriots don't need to find a way to lose this game. I think they just lose this game because they are not as good of a team as the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's going to prove on Saturday. Going to our game, you got the Bengals, you got the Bills the following Monday night. So let's see how they respond. You got the Bengals winning against the Patriots. What are the Bills going to do against the Bears? The Bills are 8.5-point favorites. And with the weather conditions the way they are, I would not be surprised if they don't hit that number. But if you look at the Bills' 2 remaining games after this one, you got the Bengals on Monday night, which you could easily lose that game. And then you got the Patriots the following week. You don't want to leave this division up to chance. You don't want to leave this division up to the Dolphins to have to lose another game. You want to win this division, and you want to win this division right now. We don't care about the number 1 seed right now. We just care about winning the division. After we win the division, we can worry about that number 1 overall seed, which personally, Bills fans, I don't think we're going to get. But at the same time, I still think we're going to win the division. I think we're going to win the division this week against the Bears. I think the Bills win this game, and I know the weather is going to be a factor. We're talking about the Windy City, and it's gonna live up to its name this week. But at the same time, I think the Bills can cover that 8.5-point spread. I really do. I don't know how many points the Bears are going to put up. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to have a game plan against Justin Fields. It's going to be a game plan that many of you don't like. I think if you join my live stream, I think a lot of you are going to want to see some more blitzes. Listen, we don't know if Poyer's going to be healthy or not for this game. That's a problem. We don't know how many blitzes we're going to see. Milano's health has been in question the past few weeks. Look on the offensive side, Mitch Morse with his concussion issues. You hope that he's ready soon, but you're just not sure. Give me the Bills to win this game. Won't be surprised if the Bears do cover an 8.5-point spread, but give me the Bills to win this game. Give me the Bills to cover an 8.5-point spread. Going to Minnesota, the Vikings fresh off a 33-point comeback against the Indianapolis Colts. At home against the New York, New Jersey Giants. The Giants off an impressive Sunday night victory against the Washington Commanders. The Vikings 4-point favorites in this game. Vikings still want to cling on to that number 2 seed, right? They're a little far back of the Eagles, especially given the fact they've already lost the Eagles this season. So the Eagles have the tiebreak. But I think the Vikings want to make sure they stay in that number 2 seed. You don't want to lose that seat to the 49ers, who are hot on your heels. Only a game back, and the 49ers would have the tiebreak against the Vikings. All that being said, they also don't want to keep being called frauds, right? You talk about the game last week, first half, that it's horrible. Now, of course, they come back in the second half and win that game in overtime with a field goal, but they don't want to be made out to be frauds. I think the Vikings come out to play a pretty full game this week. They win it. But give me the Giants, who are on a high after the division win last week, Monday night. Give me the Giants to win the game. But another thing to consider in this one is that the Giants are on an even shorter week, right? They played Monday night, or was it Sunday night? If it was Sunday night, then forget what I'm saying right now. It doesn't even matter, because the Monday night game was the Packers and Rams, and they both play Sunday. So never mind. Don't worry about it. But it's a little shorter because it's the night game on Sunday. But Vikings win the game. Giants cover the spread. Lions at Panthers. The Panthers 2.5-point underdogs. I think it would be a unfortunate, but also as someone who doesn't care about the NFC too much, I think it'd be unfortunate, but also kind of funny if this is where the Lions slip up, right? The Lions are hot. Like the one, 6 of the last 7, the only loss coming out of Thanksgiving to our Buffalo Bills. Lions are red hot, and they go against Carolina Panthers team who simply just doesn't seem to be fighting for anything this season anymore, right? They just lose to Pittsburgh last week. It looks like this Panthers team has given up on the season. So you look at the Lions, you expect them to come out strong. You expect them to be fighting. They're 7-7, definitely still have a shot at a playoff berth. Definitely still have a shot at a playoff berth because you look at the Seahawks, you look at the Washington Commanders, you look at this Giants team, who I talked about a little the last game. You know, they could easily slide. One of those 3 teams can easily slide, and the Lions need to be there to pounce, pun intended. So give me the Lions to win this game. Give me the Lions to cover that 2.5-point spread. Going to Kansas City, the Chiefs. Wow. Did the Chiefs get away with one last week? The Chiefs got away with one last week. They're 10-point favorites at home against Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks played last Thursday against the 49ers. Unfortunately, gave up the division, right? That loss cost them the division. Now the 49ers are the division champions of the NFC West, so all the Seahawks play for is a wild card berth. But as I talk about with the Lions are right there. You got teams right there ready to pounce if you do slip up. I don't see how the Seahawks win this game. As Bills fans, listen, as Bills fans, we love to cheer for the Patriots this week. We'd love to cheer for the Seahawks this week. We would love to see those 2 teams win. But I just don't see either of those things happening. The Chiefs win this game. Now, 10-point favorites. Over the last few weeks, we have seen the Chiefs struggle. 2 weeks ago against the Denver Broncos, they had a 27-0 lead, only hang on by 1 score in that game, right? And I'm thinking last week, like, oh, well, the Chiefs can come out and prove themselves against a weaker Houston Texans team. So they're going to prove that they're the best team in the league still. And they score the points, but they can't get the job done. They can't finish off the Houston Texans. The Texans have the lead for a majority of the first half for a lot of that game. And then to force overtime and lose it in the way they did is very unfortunate for them. But it is what it is. The Chiefs hold on to win that one. The Chiefs will hold on to win this one, but the Seahawks will keep it close. Give me the Chiefs to win the game. The Seahawks cover a 10-point spread. The last of the Saturday 1 o'clock games is the Houston Texans going to the Tennessee Titans. AFC South battle that no one's going to care about. Listen, the Titans need this game. They're 3-point favorites. They need this game. The Jaguars are right behind them. Right behind them. We talk about how hot the Jaguars are. Now, by this time, they will have known what happened on Thursday between the Jaguars and the Jets, but they still want to have a little cushion there, right? You don't want to lose this division like every team in the NFC South seems to want to. In the AFC South, you want to take the bull by the horns. And if the Jaguars lose on Thursday, you take a 2-game lead. If they win on Thursday, you need this one even more. The Titans win this game against the Texans. I think the Titans at home cover that 3-point spread. I expect a big game out of Derrick Henry. I've been saying it for 2 or 3 weeks now, though. So not sure if it's going to happen, but I expect the Titans to win this game. I expect the Titans to win this game possibly by double figures. I think the Titans come out and they dominate. So give me the Titans to win. Give me the Titans to cover that 3-point spread. We have 2 4 o'clock games. That's it. Because you have 3 games on Sunday now. So you have 2 4 o'clock games, and that's it. Your 4 or 5 game, Commanders at 49ers. The 49ers, again, the 3 seed, only a game back of the Minnesota Vikings, and they hold the tiebreak. So they're looking to move up to that 2 seed. They've already clinched the NFC West, right? And it's going to be really, really difficult. I really don't see it happening, them getting the number 1 seed. So it's just a matter of how important is that 3 seed or that 2 seed to the 49ers. You think about some of the players on this team. You think about Christian McCaffrey. You think about Samuel. You think about their quarterback situation, right? You think about Joey Bosa, who's had injury problems in the past. Do you start resting players? And at what clip do you start resting players? Do you rest them for a whole game, a series here or there? As Bills fans, we have seen that you can rest players throughout a game like Von Miller, and it still might not matter. You could still see that player go down in one of his 10 snaps in the game. It does not matter all the time. So you hope for the 49ers' sake you see no more injuries this season, no matter how you decide to work that team for the rest of the year. But at the same time, you want to make sure that Purdy is up to the level of playoff football when playoffs start, right? So you want Purdy in there as much as possible. And if you want Purdy in there, you want him to play with the number one. So, and you want that defense to stay hot. That 49ers defense is red hot. It's still only week 16, still 3 weeks to go. Way too early to rest your players in this one. The Commanders coming off that loss on Sunday night to the New Jersey Giants, kind of deflating a little bit, right? Kind of deflating because you thought going into that game you were the favorites. You were hot. You came in that game very hot. And unfortunately, you just couldn't get the job done. So now you go to San Fran for a very tough matchup. The 49ers are 7-point favorites. I don't think they're going to cover by a touchdown. Give me the Commanders to cover the spread, but give me the 49ers to win the game. Then you got the 425 game, a game that was very interesting like 2 weeks ago, before the Cowboys lost in overtime to the Jaguars last week, and the Eagles now without Jalen Hurts potentially for the game. Makes this game a lot less impactful in the NFC. Remember, the Eagles were only 2 games up on the Cowboys going into last week, and if the Eagles and Cowboys both won, which they both projected to do, then this would make the division race a lot tighter if the Cowboys pull this one off. Now, if the Cowboys win, they're still 2 games back, and it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The Cowboys will probably be the number 5 seed in the NFC. Probably play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the walk-around of the playoffs, and we'll see what happens there. But going into this game, the Cowboys are 5-point favorites. You got Pollard, you got Elliott. You got Lamb. You just wonder how much of them is going to be in this game, right? Because they know what happened last week, and they know what it means as far as where they stand in the standings. But you definitely don't want one of these other wildcard teams behind you to put you down in the 6 or 7 seed, because right now, if you're in the NFC, well, just like if you're in the AFC and you're not one of the division leaders, you want to be playing that 4 seed. You want to play whoever comes out of NFC South. You want to play whoever comes out of AFC South, because even though those teams will win their division, they have proven that they have a lot of weaknesses. And you will be able to exploit those weaknesses potentially. Last thing Dallas wants to do is have to go to San Fran. Even though the media would love that game, the Cowboys would not. Maybe you want to go Minnesota. Don't know. Kirk Cousins, prime time, we all know what happens. So maybe you feel like you got an edge there. I don't know. But I would want to play Tampa Bay. In order to do that, the Cowboys need to stay at the 5 seed. The Cowboys need to win this game. And I think they will. Again, no Jalen Hurts for the Eagles. I think that gives the Cowboys a big edge there. I think the Cowboys win this game. But 5-point spread, no. No. I think the Eagles will cover that 5-point spread, but the Cowboys do win this game. A low-scoring game. I won't be surprised if we see a lot of Sanders in this game, a lot of Pollard, a lot of Elliott in this one. But giving the Cowboys to win, giving the Eagles to cover that 5-point spread. Then the Saturday night game. R.I.P. Franco Harris, unfortunately, passed away. I think the news came out today, or you're watching this Thursday, so yesterday. So R.I.P. to him. You want to give your sympathies to the family and friends of Franco Harris, obviously a legend of the game, Hall of Famer. So I think the Steelers have a little bit more to play for now in this one. This was hyped up as the 50th anniversary or whatever it was of the Immaculate Reception. So it's just really sad to see Franco go this close to the game. And so, or at all, to be honest with you. But the game has to go on. I think that this will be something that the Steelers can rally around. The Las Vegas Raiders coming off that really crazy win last week, probably saw an emotional high. I think the Steelers will rally around the Franco Harris situation. We heard Johnson say last week that they do care about Mike Tomlin's record of never having a losing season. Well, if they lose one more game, he's guaranteed to have a losing season. So Steelers 2.5-point favorites. Give me Steelers to win this game on Saturday night. Will be a emotional game. Give me the Steelers to win it, and give me the Steelers to cover that 2.5-point spread. Then you move on to Christmas. And again, guys, wishing you all nothing but a Merry Christmas. You see, we got some festive stuff going on. We got the Christmas tree down at the bottom, or evergreen tree if you don't think it's festive enough because there's no decorations. You got a little leaves blowing in the background, things like that. Trying to stay a little festive here on Hashtag Sports. I don't got the snow going on like they did in the post-game report for the Bills game last week. But, I'm trying. Give me a break. But you got this Sunday, you got the Christmas games. Again, Merry Christmas to all of you. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have the greatest time with your family and friends. But we do have 3 games to go through, starting 1 o'clock. Packers, Dolphins. Dolphins 4-point favorites. Dolphins on a 3-game losing skid, and they really need a win. They really need a win. The Packers coming off a 12-point victory on Monday Night Football against the Rams, looking like that offense might be starting to come together. And believe it or not, even though they have 8 losses already, the Packers are not out of the playoff picture in the NFC. Now, the Dolphins currently right now hold that number 6 seed. I believe it's 6 seed, maybe 5 seed in the AFC. But they're 4-point favorites, and I know they really need a win. I do. And this, again, might be Bills love and Dolphins hate coming in here. But the Dolphins will have seen potentially the Bills already win their game against the Bears on Saturday. The Dolphins will know that they're not fighting for a division anymore. The Dolphins will know that they have a leg up on a few of the teams fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC. I don't know how that will affect them. I think they'll affect them negatively. And a younger team, Tua Tagovailoa not looking as sharp as he had previously in the season. I think that the Packers, they look at the Chargers game, they look at the 49ers game before that against the Dolphins, and they take a little bit of that blueprint and they make life really hard on Tua Tagovailoa. Give me the Packers to win this game in an upset. Give me this as my upset pick of the week. The Packers win this game, so the Packers beat a 4-point spread. Going to LA, where the Rams are at home as 2.5-point underdogs against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos offense both these teams' offense is just so bad. Just so bad. The fact that people have bought tickets to spend their Christmas watching this game. Because think about it, right? In the preseason, you hear this matchup on Christmas afternoon. You're like, that's exciting. Russell Wilson, the Denver Broncos, looking to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs or potentially make it to the wild card. Going against the defending NFL champions, the Super Bowl champions, who definitely were going to be contenders in the NFC West. At least, again, that's what you thought in the preseason. In the preseason, you look at this game and you're like, the NFL did something good here. It didn't work out that way. It didn't work out that way at all. Both these teams, I'm pretty sure both these teams have already been eliminated from playoff contention. And if they haven't been realistic, or if they haven't been actually eliminated, they've realistically been eliminated from playoff contention. The Rams, no Matthew Stafford, no Cooper Kupp, injuries. Cam Akers is not the running back you thought he was at all. Jefferson, not the RB2 that you want, or wide receiver 2 that you want him to be. The Broncos, Russell Wilson, to steal a Home Alone quote when Kevin McAllister is looking at Buzz's girlfriend. Just really, really bad. The Denver Broncos offense unable to get it done. The Rams offense speaks for itself. So you look at this game, you look at the defenses, right? And you say, who has the better defense between these two teams? You're talking about the Rams with Ramsey, Aaron Donald, potentially. You look at the Broncos, they've been solid, but nothing really stellar, nothing that stands out, I'm talking myself into changing my mind. My original pick was the Broncos here. But give me the Rams. Give me the Rams to win this one at upset. With the Packers being the Dolphins on the road. The Rams 2.5-point underdogs. Give me the Rams to win this game, beating a 2.5-point spread against the Denver Broncos. Then we move on to Arizona with the Cardinals. No Kyler Murray anymore. You still have D-Hop. You still have John Brown. You still have a decent running attack with Connor going at it. The Cardinals trying to prove that they're a decent team with McCoy back there. Haven't proven that accurate at all so far. Going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, man, the Tampa Bay first half against Cincinnati looked great, right? You're like, wow, they're up, they're looking good. This is the team that's going to win the NFC South. And the second half happens. and you looked horrible. You looked horrible. And so the Buccaneers come into this game only a game up. Wow. What a terrible division the NFC South is. A game up on the Saints, a game up on the Panthers, a game up on the Falcons, because all those teams are sitting, I think, at 6-8. Is it 6-8? Maybe it's 5-9. I have no idea. It's 5-9. It's 5-9, and this team is 6-8. It's so bad. It's so bad. Hey, they were on the table. They could still finish above 500. I just don't know if they're going to do it. They're going to win this game. Tom Brady's going to will them to victory in this game. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all. But the Buccaneers are going to win. They're not going to cover that 7.5-point spread, but they are going to win this game. Can't believe how bad this Buccaneers team is. Just can't believe it. Maybe the playoffs, maybe Tom Brady in the playoffs will get that mojo working a little bit. But right now, it's not looking good. Buccaneers win this game. The Cardinals cover a 7-point spread. Moving on to Monday for Monday Night Football. You know, I'm not going to lie. After Saturday slate games, there's not a single game on Sunday or Monday that I'm just dying to see. Not a single game. Other than the Bills game, obviously, I think the game I'm looking forward to the most, I look at this list. Again, the Steelers-Raiders might be there just because of what happened with Franco Harris, unfortunately. It might be up there. I don't know. I really don't know. I look at the schedule, you know, Eagles, Cowboys without Jalen Hurts, without this being as meaningful as it would have been 2 weeks ago. Meh. You know, nothing. Meh. Like there's nothing that maybe that Giants-Vikings game, that might be a good one. That might be a good one. But other than, you know, I'll obviously be live for the Bills-Bears game. We'll watch that. I'll watch the Jags-Jets on Thursday. It should be a decent game. But yeah, these Sundays and Monday games, nothing really strikes my fancy. Would love to see the Dolphins lose just because. Broncos, Rams, no. Buccaneers, Cardinals, no. And then you look at this Monday night game, Chargers at Colts. AFC game, so it matters a little bit to the Buffalo Bills, but not that much. The Chargers in the playoffs after the win last week against the Tennessee Titans. As of right now, they're in the playoffs, I should say. The Colts giving up a 33-point lead. Ew. So bad. So bad. Is it a little bit of me being bitter because I'm a Bills fan? We just lost the record. Absolutely. But so bad. At home against the Chargers 4.5-point favorites on Monday Night Football. There's nothing to say here. No running back, no Taylor for the Colts. Zach Moss isn't going to get the job done. As Bills fans, we know that. You look at this Chargers team. Finally, the offense is healthy, looking good. Giving the Chargers to win this game, the Chargers to cover a 4.5-point spread. It's that simple. It's that easy. Guys, those are my Week 16 picks. Going through them again. Jets, Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Bills, Vikings, Lions, Chiefs, Titans, 49ers, Cowboys, Steelers, Ravens, Rams, Buccaneers, Chargers. Those are all my picks straight up. Against the spread, you got Jets, Saints, Falcons, Bengals, Bills, Giants, Lions, Seahawks, Titans, Commanders, Eagles, Steelers, Packers, Rams, Cardinals, and then the Chargers. Those are my picks. Join me if you can on Christmas Eve for the game between the Bears and the Bills. Should be a fun one. I wish you all nothing but the best this holiday season. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for what you've done for Hashtag Sports, for making this as successful as it has been. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Going to keep you up to date throughout the rest of 2022 and beyond, including the Buffalo Bills' hopeful playoff run. And we're going to continue to do more fun things to keep Hashtag Sports, doing things that you guys love. So we appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Have a great holiday season. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, Realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth, and right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona? Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions so we can take the next step to your financial freedom here in the Valley of the Sun, utilizing real estate. As always, God bless America and go Buffalo!